Hello everyone, how are you all? Myself Moinivas. I am going to discuss today before you the topic nervous system. So, what is nervous system? Any guesses? Yes, it is the complex network of nerves and cells that carry messages to and from the brain and spinal cord and then to the rest part of the body. So, in short, nervous system is a system that regulates the flow of information from to and from nerves and spinal cord to rest of the part of body. Okay? So, the division of nervous system. As you can see in this, the nervous system is basically divided into two parts: central nervous system, peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system, it is the body master control unit. Peripheral nervous system, it is the body's link to the outside world. Okay. So, central nervous system is divided into three parts: spinal cord, brain stem, brain. Okay, the spinal cord is the collection of nerves between the brain and the peripheral nervous system. Okay, you all must be knowing what is the spinal cord. Okay, and brain stem is the connecting link between brain and spinal cord. Brain, you all must be knowing what is brain. Brain is divided into three parts: hindbrain, midbrain, forebrain. Okay. Now, peripheral nervous system is divided into autonomic nervous system and somatic nervous system. As you can see that the peripheral nervous system is basically the body's link to outside world. So it includes all type of action and movements, and central nervous system is including the stimulus, and the peripheral nervous system includes response. Okay. So, autonomic nervous system regulates the involuntary movements, involuntary bodily process like heart rate, breathing, digestion, these and pupil contraction, involuntary movements which we can't control directly. And somatic nervous system carries the information from sensory organs to central nervous system, and then they relays motor or movement commands to muscles and then control voluntary movements. Okay, suppose there is any hot surface and we accidentally touch that hot surface. So on touching the hot surface, suddenly an information goes to our brain, and the brain will direct the hand to remove the touch from the surface. Okay, so this is the voluntary movement which we can control. The somatic nervous system deals with these things. And the autonomic nervous system is again divided into sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Now, autonomic nervous system deals with the all involuntary bodily process. But in this, there is two division, where sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system prepares our body for action and stress, that is flight and fight. If we have to fight with something, then the body is prepared for action, and if we have to be afraid of something, then the body is prepared to escape from that situation. The sympathetic nervous system deals with this, and parasympathetic nervous system helps the body to conserve the energy, or it calms the body, that is it helps the body to rest, to calm and rest for some situations. Okay, so nervous system, in this way nervous system controls every type of stimulus and response. Okay, so that's why it is called as regulating center of our body. Okay, so organs of nervous system. Organs of nervous system includes brain, spinal cord, ganglion, nerves. Brain, a part of CNS, spinal cord, a part of CNS, ganglion, a part of PNS, and nerves, a part of PNS. Okay. So brain. Brain, you all know it is the command center of the nervous system. Okay. Now we can see in this figure, the brain is divided into various lobes: occipital lobe, temporal lobe, parietal lobe, frontal lobes. So the work of this lobe, this frontal lobe frontal lobe is responsible for problem solving. Okay, the problem solving attitude is done with the help of frontal lobe. Okay, and parietal lobe manage sensation, handwriting, and body position. Okay, the yellow part. Parietal lobe manage sensation, handwriting, and body position. And temporal lobe is involved in anything. Any guesses? Yeah, it is involved in memory and hearing. Okay, and occipital lobe contains the visual processing system. Okay, and beside this we can see that the brain is surrounded by a layer of tissue called meninges or cranium, and it helps to or protects our brain from any type of injury. Okay, so we can see in the picture there is pituitary gland also present, and thalamus also present, and cerebellum also present. So we will discuss later the further description of brain. But here the things which are important in regard to nervous system is occipital lobe, temporal lobe, parietal lobe, frontal lobe. These are the things that controls the bodily movements. So that's why brain is called as command center. Okay, or regulating center of the nervous of our body. Okay, so next is the spinal cord. Spinal cord, what is spinal cord? Any guesses? Yeah, it is the long bundle of nerves and cells that extends from lower portion of brain to lower back portion of our body. See, from here to the back, lower portion to back portion of our body. As you can see in the figure, we have cervical from C1 to C7. Then we have thoracic from T1 to T12. Then we have lumbar from L1 to L5. Then we have sacral from S1 to S5, and finally we have coccyx. So these are bundle of nerves which starts from the lower portion of brain to lower back portion of our body. So these nerves or these bundles of nerves constitutes the spinal cord. See, you have cervical pain. That's because the brain, because of the spinal cord division, which is numbered from C1 to C7. Okay. Then this particular region, the nerve region present in the thoracic cavities, to, where are called thoracic. That's are called thoracic spinal cord. Then we have lumbar. Then we have sacral. Okay. So this is the division of a spinal cord, and a spinal cord in this way contains the information from brain to rest of the part of the body. Okay, or it can take vice versa. It can take the information from rest of the body to rest of the part of body to brain. Okay, then we have ganglion. No, what is ganglion? Any guesses? Yeah. So it is the collection of neuronal bodies found in voluntary and autonomic branches of nervous system. Collection of neuronal bodies found in voluntary and autonomic branches of peripheral nervous system. So you have you all must be till now you all must be aware of peripheral nervous system, and we have read in the peripheral nervous system that it has autonomic nervous system. So the ganglion is present there only. It is the collection of neuronal bodies found in voluntary and autonomic branches of peripheral nervous system. It can be thought of as relay station, synaptic relay station between neurons. Okay, it is type of a relay station. What happens when any information excites the ganglia? then it excites the neuron, and then the information flows to rest part of the body. Okay, what happens when there is any type of information? uh, First the information enters the ganglia, and there it excites the neuron, and there information neuron the information flow in neuron exists. It takes place, and then from there the information flows to the rest part of the body. Okay, suppose we touches anything, any hot surface, so the information flows through this ganglion. Okay, ganglion act as a relay center. The ganglion takes the information from one point to and transfers it to the another point. Okay, information flows to this ganglion. There they show certain type of a stimulus. Then the stimulus is again transferred to rest part of the body, and slowly the movement takes place. Okay, or the action takes place. Okay. Then we have nerve. Now, nerve is an enclosed cable-like bundle of fibers. Okay, so, and the nerve is typically nerve is typically made up of a neuron. And here we can see that the structure of a typical neuron. See, a neuron has a nucleus, it has a cell body, it has a dendrites, it has axon, it has Schwann cells, it has myelin sheets, it has node of Ranvier, it has axon terminal. So this is the typical structure of a neuron, and each neuron constitutes more than one neuron constitutes nerve. Okay, so this is present throughout of our body, that there are various neurons which make nerves. Okay, so nerves are constituted of neuron. Okay, so here we can see it is a typical tree like here, where axon does the show this axon resembles to the root. Then we have node of Renville, Schwann sheet and myelin sheet, and axon terminal resembles to root. Then we have these long tube-like structure which consists node of Renville, Schwann cells, myelin sheet. It resembles the stem part. Then we have a tree-like structure which contains nucleus, cell body, dendrites. Okay, so this is the structure of typical neuron. Now let's see what does it do, what work it does. So how does it helps? How the information flows through neurons? See, there is dendrites that collects electric signals. Then we have cell body, and then the cell body we have nucleus. It integrates the signals and generates outgoing signal to axon. Then axon passes the electric signal to dendroids, and dendroids of another cell, and then to an effector cell. Okay, effector cell. See, so suppose we our brain hears something. Yeah, suppose we touches anything. Okay, hot surface. The first information will collected through dendrites. Okay, it does certain type of it collects the electrical signal. Then the signal passes to the cell body where we have nucleus. These signal are integrated at the cell body, and each cell body will generate another outgoing signal. Then the outgoing signal passes through axon, and passes to axon, and then to axon terminal, and from axon terminal it is passed to another effector cell. Okay, so dendrites takes the signal, and axon passes another output signal, which is this process takes place. And then when we touch the hot surface, dendrites takes the signal, and it will be generated in the cell body, integrated in the cell body, and another outgoing signal is generated, which passes to axon and finally to axon terminal, and then the axon terminal to effector cell. And when the signal passes from axon terminal to effector cell, suddenly a type of action is generated. So at that particular moment, the our hand which has touched the horse surface, a type of action take place, and we move our hand from the horse surface. Okay, see see in this figure, the sensory receptor is going to take place. Let's see how. Suppose our hand touches a burning coil, okay, mosquito coil, okay. So we in our hand we have a sensory receptor, okay. It receives the stimulus. Then slowly the stimulus first will excite the dendrites, okay. Dend dendrites which is in the in figure it, dendrites are not shown, but you can assume here that it is the sensory neuron. So sensory neuron consists of a typical we have learned the structure of a typical neuron. So in the typical neuron, the thing first the signal will come to dendrites, then it will move to cell body, then it will move to axon and axon terminal, and then finally to effector cell. So in this sensory receptor receives the stimulus, it will pass to sensory neuron, then the sensory neuron will generate another signal that will pass to effector cell, then effector cell will do something movement, it will pass to motor neuron, then finally to interneuron, then finally to spinal cord, and then finally to brain, and then from the spinal cord and brain again a signal will come to motor neuron and effector cells, and finally our body will remove the hand from the horse surface. So this particular process will not take more than 1 second. It will be done in the it will be done in a quick moment, but the description how work is done is is a long story. Okay, so this particular time of this flow of information is not more than 1 second. Okay, so this is how the flow of information takes place, and thus certain type of actions are called as reflex action. You can see the heading: when reflexes occur, sensory information bypasses the brain. Okay, so sometimes it will bypass the brain, and truth, and this is how the flow of information takes place in our nervous system. Okay. So, till now it is clear that how the brain and spinal cord regulates the information flow in the nervous system, and how the nervous system controls rest of the voluntary and involuntary actions of our body. So, that's why its nervous system is called the command center of our body. So, I think it's clear to you all. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. Stay home, stay safe, and stay tuned also. Bye-bye.